Welcome to the Telex Radio Dispatch CSOF Dispatching Application Version 7 New Features video. Version 7 will add the following new features: a new licensing technology that removes the USB hardware dongle, a direct IP interface for Kenwood NextEdge trunking, per-line call playback with improved global call history window, and a call queue and text functionality. Some of the functional changes in 7 from previous versions are: all SIP telephony lines are now enhanced or full-featured. The basic tier has been removed. 2 lines of SIP are included in any license size, and a total of 12 extensions of SIP are now supported from the previous 6. 1 line of the new IIR or per-line call playback is included in any license size. Additional lines can be purchased as an option. Existing SIP and DFSI licenses, either dongle or ADHB4 hash codes, will not work. They will need to be converted to the new Flexera entitlement as part of your upgrade package. Windows 8.1 is now supported along with Windows 7, but support for Windows XP has been dropped. HB3 and 3+ serial commands and audio interface are no longer tested, making the ADHB4 the suggested accessory interface. Previous versions of CSOF used a hardware-based licensing scheme from SafeNet called Sentinel Super Pro dongles. When started, CSOF would detect any attached dongle license keys, compile a list of licensed features, and then only enable the features that are licensed. There are a number of restrictions and requirements that SafeNet does not easily support. In addition, the hardware-based licensing model is somewhat outdated, making maintenance and overhead of adding new licensable features difficult. Flexera license has been chosen because it provides a number of new features like easy creation of licensable features, capability to create time-based licensing, and activation count-based licensing for demo purposes. Both demonstration licensing options are not available in the initial release. The new Flexera licensing supports many deployment models. In Scenario 1, we will have 3 positions needing to control 12 radio resources. The requirement is that each position be independent of each other. This is much like we do today with individual dongles. The solution is to order 3 individual license entitlements of 12 lines and install 1 on each position. In scenario number 2, we have 3 positions needing control of 12 radio resources. The requirement is that each position request a license from a dedicated license server. This is much like we do today with server dongles. The solution is to order 3 individual license entitlements of 12 lines and install all of them on a single PC. This allows additional PCs to have CSOF installed and ready. The first 3 to run the application will get the licenses. The license server could be on operational dispatch position. In scenario number 3, we have 22 positions needing control of 12 radio resources. The requirement is that 20 positions request a license from a dedicated license server and 2 run standalone. The solution is to order 22 individual license entitlements of 12 lines, install 20 of the entitlements on a single PC, and 1 entitlement on each of the other 2 PCs. This allows for 2 PCs to have CSOF installed and ready at any time, and the remaining 20 plus will access a licensed server to get approval to run the application. In scenario number 4, we have 20 positions needing control of 12 radio resources. The requirement is that the 20 positions can request a license from either of 2 dedicated servers. The solution is to order 20 individual license entitlements of 12 lines, install 10 of the entitlements on a single PC, and the remaining 10 on another PC. This allows for the 20 PCs to access either licensed server for approval to run the application. This is a great solution to protect against single point of failure of the licensed server by splitting the licenses on 2 machines. CSOF 7 licensing part numbers are available in increments from 2 to 200 lines. Remember, CSOF licenses must equal or exceed the total number of controlled resources. That would be radios, SIP telephony, DFSI, and XTN lines. SIP, NextEdge IP, and DFSI license are considered enablers, allowing any of the total line count to be configured for that line type up to the value ordered. Currently, there is an upgrade process for CSOF 6.5 and previous versions to version 7.0. You'll need to work with your regional Bosch sales representative when using this part number. Existing SIP and DFSI licenses, that would be either dongle or ADHB4 hash codes, will not work with CSOF 7. They will need to be converted to the new Flexera entitlements. CSOF 7 SIP and IIR, or per-line call playback ordering numbers, are shown here. Remember, 2 lines of SIP and 1 line of IRR are included with all CSOF 7 licenses. These are all expanders or enablers that will increase the number allowed per the design or position. Kenwood Next Edge Trunking Direct IP interface for CSOF 7 is sold in increments of 2, 6, 12, or 24 lines. P25 DFSI interface for CSOF 7 are sold in increments of 2, 6, 12, and 24. Detailed instructions on the installation and use of the licensing website and server can be found in the CSOF manual or this application note. The document is located on the Telex Dispatch website in the Documents Download area under Manuals and is called CSOF 7 Licensing Instructions. The new Kenwood Next Edge Trunking Direct IP interface is a direct IP interface requiring no extra hardware or radio gateways, supporting both narrowband and very narrowband channel spacing. Broadcast, group, and unicall types are supported. Emergency call decode with acknowledgement capabilities, radio status decode and encode, radio remote monitor with optional supervisor password, supporting up to 24 talk paths per console with selectable talk group functions, radio status requests and radio stun revive functions, radio remote regrouping, over-the-air aliasing, text messaging, call alert, and GPS decode are supported. Note, the maximum number of consoles is 10 per site and 100 per system. This is a Kenwood setting. The radio regroup button allows the dispatcher to temporarily reassign a radio to a different talk group than programmed. The radio ungroup button allows a dispatcher to return a radio to its original talk group after using the radio regroup button. The per-line call history window has been updated and displays a list of the most recently received calls. Each entry in the call history contains details regarding an individual call. A newly added per-line call playback feature uses icons in the leftmost column to display the current status of the call entry. Up to 1 hour per line of audio can be stored. Displayed are the various icons used in the per-line call history window when the optional per-line call playback feature is enabled. A pinned call indicates the user would like to save the call entry for further reference and prevents the call entry from being removed from the list. A user can change the pinned state of a call entry by right-clicking on the call entry and then selecting the pinned call menu item. The per-line call history setup window allows installers to determine which columns are visible to the operator. The respective column will be displayed in the per-line call history window if checked and hidden if unchecked. New to both the per-line and global call history windows is a comments area. When the user right-clicks on a call entry in either window, the comments window appears. The comment window allows the user to either create a new comment or modify an existing comment for a menued item. The comment window will allow up to 100 characters in a single comment. Note, the comments column must be selected as a visible column in the designer's buttons configuration for the comments window to be available in runtime. The IRR recording tab is used for the per-line call playback option and has been added to the global parameters setup. Here is where you will define which lines have the option feature enabled and where you want to store the audio files. Note, it is recommended to store audio files on a dedicated hard drive and not the same hard drive as the Microsoft Windows operating system. The new Last Call button allows users to play back audio from the last received call on the configured line. The new Call Queue window is used to view calls which have been added to a call queue. The call queue contains a list of calls which need to be responded to by dispatchers. The status of individual calls are updated among all consoles as dispatchers answer and complete calls. The call queue window supports the following call types compared to the selected line's signaling type. As you can see, the call type supported by each signaling type varies and is limited by the attached radio's capabilities. The call queue window can be configured using the Call Queue Window Setup tab. The Event Selection Group box displays which radio call types should be added to the call queue window. When the CSOF console receives one of the selected radio call events, an entry will be created in the call queue window. The available events are Call Alert, Group Call, Private Call, and Select Call. The ability to display which columns are presented in the window are also controlled on this tab in the Column Setup section. When the Automatically Populate Keypad on Answer checkbox is checked, the user ID information on the call entry automatically be added to the user entry field in the keypad control when the call is answered by clicking the Answer button. When a new incoming call is added to the call queue window, the call entry will have a status of waiting until answered by a dispatcher. To answer the call, select the call entry in the list and click the Answer button. Note, selecting the call entry will cause the background color of the call entry to change to the selected color configured in Microsoft Windows. After the call has been answered, the call entry now shows a status of processing. The dispatcher which answered the call is the only user that can now clear the call entry. Dispatchers on parallel console positions can determine the dispatcher working a particular call by viewing the console ID field for the call entry. When the call has been completed and the processing dispatcher needs to clear the call from the list, select the call entry in the list and click the Clear button. The call event is now shown as complete. The call entry will remain on the screen until the maximum number of viewable entries configured in CSoft Designer has been reached. A new text message control has been added and is used to view and send text message calls to units using supported line types. The supported line types include FleetSync, MotoTurbo, and NextEdge Direct IP interfaces. Both pre-canned and manual entry text modes are supported. The GPS mapping function has been changed for MotoTurbo lines using Google Earth. The system will no longer use Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska as the default location. The new default location is blank and the radio location is unknown until a GPS read function is completed. The GPS mapping setup window is used to enable GPS data that needs to be received and stored by CSoft. The Store Received GPS Data in KML File checkbox must be used to create and store the GPS file. The GPS file name and stored location fields are located here and will need to be configured. If you will be receiving GPS information from a Kenwood NextEdge system, you will need to enable and configure the GPS output in the Network Setup section. Note, Google Earth functionality will only work if the Store Received GPS Data in KML File checkbox is selected. The Global Call History window has been updated and provides a log of past calls received by the console. The operator can use the log to view previously received calls. In addition, the call can be selected for playback. This log can contain up to 500 calls or the last 10 minutes of audio. The new column setup group box for the Global Call History window allows the user to determine which columns are visible in the Global Call History window. The respective column will be displayed in the Global Call History window if checked and hidden if unchecked. The selectable columns and information for the Global Call History window that can be displayed are shown here along with the details on the data presented. The 7.0 Designer application has the ability to view the design file parameters and has been changed to also support showing the required licensing needed to properly run the design. This can be found at File Information under the File command. As part of the CSoft 7 release package, the HB4 has also been updated to version 3.0. Firmware version 3.0 is required to run CSoft 7.0. Once upgraded, the unit will not be downgradable to earlier versions. This will clear or remove any existing SIP or DFSI hashcode licensing. These should have been handled as part of your CSoft 7 upgrade package when you placed your order. This firmware has no operational fixes or improvements. We want to thank you for taking time to watch our video on the latest CSoft and ADHB4 software editions. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to contact your Telex Dispatch sales or technical support contact. Thank you again.
Bosch, invented for life.